Hello everyone and welcome to the video tutorial on Seaborn in Python. So Seaborn is another powerful Python plotting library that uses matplotlib underlead to plot powerful and impactful visualizations. Now first of all, let us understand how do we install Seaborn on our system. So again, by using the same pip command we can write pip install Seaborn, and if I run this cell, I'm already having Seaborn installed on my system, so it shows me requirement already satisfied. Now the next step that we want to do is we want to import Seaborn. So I'll write import Seaborn as SNS, and I can also import matplotlib, import matplotlib dot pyplot as plt. So these are the two important libraries that we'll see. Now we are going to basically see three important plots in Seaborn. So first plot that we are going to see is the box plot, and the second plot that we are going to see is the dist plot, or the distribution plot that they call. So the dist plot, and the third plot is rect plot. So these are the three important plots that we are going to see in Seaborn. So first of all, let us start our journey of the box plot. So what I'm going to do, Seaborn already has some inbuilt datasets. You don't need to use any external CSV that we saw in Pandas DataFrame. So I'll load one dataset that is already present inside Seaborn library into my Pandas DataFrame. So I can also write import pandas as pd, and then I'll make a data frame df is equals to and sns dot load underscore dataset function. By using the load underscore dataset function, you can try to use the inbuilt datasets that are already present in Seaborn. So now I can write tips. There is a dataset of tips that is already given in present now in Seaborn. So I can see the data frame. So the dataset contains 244 rows and it has 7 columns. It gives us information about features like total bill, tip, the sex of the customer, smoker, day, time, and size. So this is the basic information. Now to plot a box plot, what we can do, we can just simply do df dot box plot, and here I can write by, so it will be day, and then I can write column that will be total underscore bill. So this will be total underscore bill, and the third argument will be grid, that will be false. Okay, so I have to write capital F over here. So as you can see, I have my box plot ready. Now first of all, let us understand what a box plot is and how we can interpret the data that we have visualized through box plot. So box plot is basically a visual representation of depicting groups of numerical data through their quartiles. These basic statistical measures that I already showed you, like you have the 25th percentile, 50th percentile, and the average, mean, median, etc., etc. So these are the basic statistical measures. Now box plot is also very important for detecting outliers in the dataset. Now the concept of outliers in the dataset is very useful when you try to implement machine learning models on the dataset. So if you are already aware about the kind of outliers that are present in different features of your dataset, so it will be very helpful to increase the accuracy of the prediction of your machine learning model. So that is why box plot is very important. Now it captures a summary of the data very efficiently in a simple box and whiskers, and allows you to compare into a different groups. Box plot summarizes the sample data using the 25th, 50th, and 75th percentile, and these percentiles are also known as the lower quartile, median, and upper quartile. So this will be the lower quartile, median, and the upper quartile. So a box plot consists of 5 things: the minimum value, the maximum, and the first quartile of 25th percentile, median, or the second quartile, or we can also call it the 50th percentile, that is the median, and the third thing is the 75th percentile and the minimum and maximum value. So this is why box plot is very important. You can detect outliers very easily with the help of a box plot. So if you are clear with the box plot, Now let's move to the next type of plot that we are going to use is the dist plot. So to do that, I'll use a new dataset, and let's use the Titanic dataset. This is a very famous dataset in data science. Most beginners have already worked on the Titanic dataset, and I'll also try to show you some important exploratory data analysis on the Titanic dataset in the next few videos. So what I can do, I can again write SNS dot load underscore dataset, and Seaborn already has Titanic dataset stored inside it, so we just have to import it inside a data frame. Now it is loading. It will take some time to load the Titanic dataset into from Seaborn to our Pandas data frame. So yeah, it is done. So let's take a look what we have inside the Titanic dataset. So this Titanic dataset has these number of features. So what we'll do, I'll show you the box plot or the dist plot on the age feature, and I'll explain what the dist plot basically shows you. So what I can do, I can make one feature called age 1, and I will pick up the age column from the Titanic dataset, and I'll use drop NA function on this age 1. Now what does drop NA will do? It will remove all the null values that are present inside the age column, and it will give me a new feature age 1, which is essentially derived from the original age feature that we already had in the dataset. So this is done. Now what I can write, SNS dot dist plot, and inside the dist plot I want to give my new feature that I've made age 1, and I want, let's say, 30 bins, and the next thing I want to do is KDE will be equal to false, and I can write PLT dot show to see my dist plot. Okay, it is Titanic. Now I have the dist plot ready. So now what dist plot tells you, it gives you a basically a histogram. You can also try different features of histplot. You can plot lines on the top of this histogram, but it is giving me basically the distribution of the age feature that I have inside my dataset. So if you try to interpret from the histogram, the maximum number of people that I have in the dataset are from, let's say, 15 to 55, and the majority of the chunk goes around 25. So on the x-axis I'm having the age of the people, and on the y-axis I'm having the count of the people. So this is how you can to know the density of the data points that are present in your dataset. So again, his dist plot is also very important while you build some important machine learning models. So if you are able to interpret all these plots very carefully, then you can tweak your machine learning models in a certain way to get the better accuracy and better results from your ML model. Now third and the most important plot that we have is the reg plot. Now again, I'll take a new dataset to show the reg plot. So what I'll do, I'll make a new variable called data, and again SNS dot load underscore dataset, and this time I'll use, let's say, the MPG dataset. It will again take some time to load that data. It will load the MPG data that is already present in the Seaborn library into my new variable called data. So it's taking little too long to load the data. Let's wait for a few minutes and let's see what do we get. Okay, so the data is loaded. Now let's have a look what do we have inside the data. So the data contains these number of columns: MPG, cylinders, displacement, horsepower, acceleration, model year, and origin, etc, etc. Now my aim is to show you a rich plot, and I'll pick up two numeric features, acceleration and, let's say, MPG. So what I'll do, I'll write SNS dot reg plot. Inside this, on the x-axis I want MPG, and on the y-axis I want acceleration, and then the data set I want to use is data will be equal to data, and I can write plt dot show to show the plot. Now as you can see, I have a rich plot. So on the background I have a basically a scatter plot that shows the distribution of different data points and between acceleration and mpg. Now reg plot, what it will do, it will be very useful when we are working with linear regression models. So if you understand the relationship between different features that are present in your entire data set, so it will be very easy for you to implement the best regression models, because the correlation between these two features, if the correlation is if you understand the correlation between different features, then the linear regression models will perform very nicely. Now what reg plot gives you is basically it gives you a best fit line and the scatter plot. So you can understand the distribution of the data between these two features, and you also have the best fit line that passes through all, covers all the data points and gives you a basically average or the mean value of these two features. So this is how you work with reg plot, box plot, and disk plot in Seaborn. All these three plots are very important from the machine learning model point of view, so understand them very carefully. Now let's move to the next video. I hope you are clear with this concept. Thank you.